This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
The owner of Tasmania says the site's gift shop will reopen in a fortnight after it was badly damaged in a deliberately lit blaze last month. The roof will be removed tomorrow so rebuilding can get underway. Despite the setback, the owner says he's receiving support from the community.
Everyone comes in, shakes my hand, wishes as well. The kids absolutely love the place and the adults love the place, and it just goes on getting bigger and better and stronger.
Tasmania's main attractions all remain open, with the business continuing to receive strong visitor numbers. Police are still hunting for those responsible for the fire. The fire service issued a smoke alert for a fuel reduction burn at Rose Bay today. The fire sent smoke over much of the eastern shore of Hobart, with winds pushing it towards homes. Authorities urge people with medical conditions to reduce their exposure to smoke by staying indoors. The Parks and Wildlife Service conducted the 11-hectare burn as part of the fuel reduction program. The Fire Service says the program aims to protect lives and communities by reducing bushfire risk. A record crowd has stepped back in time for this year's Steam Fest. The event pays homage to Tasmania's steam-powered machines, including some which have spent years being restored.
Old traditions brought back to life in a puff of steam. A time before diesel powered the world. This is Steamfest, showcasing the era's surviving machines, dating all the way back to this one, built in 1897. Each has a story, like this threshing machine. First used in and around Yolla 100 years ago, it has been painstakingly restored by two 80-year-old mates.
Spent 2 years and 2 months, $7,000 worth of timber, 600 bolts, about 2,000 screws, and a few sore fingers, and that's the finished article. And it's running very well.
A high-octane tractor pull saw the old and new worlds collide. As a night fight held court in the shadow of Mount Roland.
You've really just got to watch your opponent's body. It's like any martial art.
Horsemen hone their skills to great precision, a reenactment of an historic training routine.
The history goes right back many hundreds of years. It's a great regime for getting you to work with your horse.
Organisers say more than 8,000 people and one parrot attended this year's show, breaking the previous record.
Of course, being steam, you don't get a lot of opportunity to bring them out into the public. But when we do, it's quite good.
Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
50 of Tasmania's most promising athletes are preparing to take on the Australian Junior Athletics Championships in Sydney. Competition begins on Wednesday, with many of our Tassie young guns today getting in some last-minute training.
Hitting the track ahead of one of the biggest weeks on the junior athletics calendar. This trio form part of Tassie's 50-person team, heading to Sydney to compete against the best young track and field athletes in the country.
I'm honoured to be running against them. It doesn't really worry me how good they are or their times. It's just, it feels good to be able to be in elite company like that.
I think we'll do all right. I think we're just an sort of underrated team. You know, we're a small team, yeah, but it's quality over quantity.
15-year-old Sam Clifford is hoping to back up his previous success. In December, the promising distance runner took out the Australian All-Schools under-16 1500 metres. Later this week, he'll line up in not only the 1500 but also the 3000 metres, which he also won last year.
I'm thinking to really have a good crack this weekend and just hoping a few medals, maybe even gold medals maybe. But I'd really like to have a go and really push myself.
Also looking to defend her title is pole vaulter Rafaela Corney, who claimed last year's under-17 title, soaring over 3.5 metres, 35 centimetres higher than the silver medalist. But for many athletes, winning isn't their only aim.
I'm really just hoping to get some PBs. At the moment, my 100, I'm about 13 3, so I'm really hoping to maybe break down into the 12 seconds, maybe.
The Junior Championships, another step on the road to success.
Really just to represent Australia in the Olympics. I'm thinking 2024 Olympics, so that's my main goal, and anything before that is just a bonus.
Monica Dadson, Southern Cross News.
The Hobart Payton Club is playing host to interstate competitors for a special tournament of the French sport. 18 teams went head-to-head today in mixed doubles in the final day of the competition. Payton has similarities to lawn bowls, where competitors are trying to get their ball closest to the marker.
It's a really hip sport in Europe. It's big, it's very fashionable. Chardonnays and champers and pétanque, it goes down well.
The local club is trying to encourage more young people to join the sport. A group of whisky connoisseurs are taking lessons from master distillers. Tasmanian whiskies are renowned around the world, so what better place to learn how to create the best drop than right here?
A distiller testing his fine craft in a warehouse.
Today we're actually testing some of our whisky for ABV, so just basically how alcoholic it is.
With this group learning how in the classroom, these students have travelled as far as Darwin, spending the next few days learning whisky how-tos.
The magic of whisky is about turning what is a humble grain into something that's quite delicious to drink with your friends. So
I think some of this will be completely over our heads, and at the same time we're going to learn a lot and probably more importantly network.
The course taught by this prominent distiller, bringing his knowledge across the globe from Scotland, all in the spirit of a shared passion for the special drop.
One of the main differences is that we use larger casks because we sell more of the stuff. The guys here use a lot of small casks which matures their whisky much quicker.
Tasmania is renowned for its exceptional spirit making, with at least 30 distilleries in the state, all taking advantage of the moderate climate.
Local water's fantastic, we grow great barley, everything that goes into it, as well as just a passion that Australians and especially Tasmanians bring to making their product.
Participants will tomorrow visit Sullivan's Cove Distillery here in Cambridge, learning some of the intricacies of what goes into making some of the world's favourite whisky.
They get a very good script on the world stage, so the Tasmanian whisky industry is well thought of. So yeah, I think it's got a great future.
Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Hundreds of the country's best young swimmers have taken to the water in Hobart for the finale of the state championships. Over 500 taking part in the 4-day competition, with qualifying rounds for the Australian Championships in Adelaide.
We actually have multi-class swimmers that compete as well, and last night Aaron Miller from Launceston actually broke a world Down syndrome record, which was fantastic.
Top performers were Stephanie McCarthy, Aurora Giuliani and James Clues. And Tasmanian Scott Bowden is sitting 31 seconds behind overall leader Robbie Hucker after stage 2 in the Tour of Taiwan. Riding for Bennelong Swiss Wellness Cycling, Bowden's team is 3rd in the standings. Stage 3 of 5 gets underway tomorrow.
Good evening. 22 degrees today for Hobart and Launceston. Burnie reached 20, with 23 the top in Devonport. Around the state, 23 was the state's top for Edison Point and Friendly Beaches, 22 for St Helens, 21 at Scottsdale. Smithton and Wynyard hit 20 degrees, 19 for Grove and King Island, with Strahan reaching 18. Looking onto the charts, low cloud visible there through the Bight, associated with the high. Thunderstorm activity visible up north linked to the monsoon trough, with patchy cloud through the east coast. Closer in shows mostly low cloud covering the west and the south. Tomorrow the high creeps further into the Bight. The surface troughs remain off WA and also over southeastern states. West to southwesterly winds for Tasmania, 10 to 20 knots, reaching 25 to 30 knots in the southeast, with seas between 1 and 3 metres higher through the southeast. And there is a strong wind warning current for southern coastal waters from Tasman Island to Low Rocky Point. Looking at the forecast tomorrow, 21 in Hobart, 20 with some showers for Adventure Bay, Tarraleah 15 degrees and cloudy. Warmer through the north, 25 for Launceston, 22 for Devonport, Bridport sunny and 22 also. With 21 in Burnie, some showers for Strahan 17, 19 and cloudy for Marrawar, with a mostly sunny day on the east coast, 22 for St Helens and Swansea, a few clouds about and 21 for Whitemark. And the UV remains mostly high. Looking ahead to later in the week, showers about the west and the far south for Wednesday, fine elsewhere. Much the same again on Thursday, with showers extending through the parts of the north and the east on Friday, mainly fine elsewhere. I'll look now at your major centres for tomorrow. 35 degrees there in Perth, 23 for Canberra and Sydney. A few showers for Brisbane and Cairns, with a sunny 32 degrees for Alice Springs. And a cloudy evening this evening, 16 for Hobart and 18 for Launceston and Devonport. Back to you, Jo.
Lovely. Thanks so much for that, Sam. And that's all from the news team for now. See you a bit later. Bye-bye.